Hey everyone, I hope you are doing well. Today we are going to create this very easy, simple look. This is a guide for beginners. So if you are new to makeup or you're not that experienced in makeup, this video is going to be for you. I'm going to walk you through how to create a simple look. So you're still using makeup, but it doesn't have to be crazy. So that's what we're doing today. And this was actually a little bit of a request. It was a partial request because my cousin-in-law was asking for makeup for the not so makeup savvy basically. So while I only used one eyeshadow today, we're starting from the very beginning for somebody who wants to dip their toes into makeup and who wants to start using eyeshadow without using 5 shades. In one of the next videos coming up, I will walk through a palette and I'll walk through how to create a little bit more of a softer glam, I guess, a different eye look, and what to use, what to place where. But this is, again, just very simple everyday makeup. I am using mostly drugstore products. There's only 2 items that were not drugstore, but I will walk through that in a little bit. Let's go ahead and jump to me barefaced and let's get into this video. The skin is moisturized. I used the Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream. If you have oily skin, I would not even think about trying this. This is very hydrating, but if you do have dry skin, I would definitely recommend this. It is extremely hydrating. I just put it on right now and it's very emollient. So that's what we have going on there. For my lips, I have used the Milani Rose Butter. I really like this, you guys. So I always put a lip balm on while I'm putting my makeup on just to keep them hydrated and all that good stuff. So we're gonna get started with foundation. This is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation, and it is the shade 425. 425. I like it for a few reasons. I like the finish. It's not matte, and I love that it has a pump. There's a nice shade range. Yes, mine is dirty. Oops, I shouldn't have showed y'all that. And I like that it's really long wearing as well. So I have been out the last couple of days walking and I've gotten some sun. I'm so proud of myself. So I feel like I went up half a shade. I don't know, at least that's what I'd like to think. I was definitely checking for tan lines today. I'm probably going to use my sponge to blend it out, but I'm going to use a foundation brush to actually apply my foundation. I always just tend to use the back of my hand. My hands are clean and it's just my face. If you want more of a fuller coverage finish, then I would recommend using a brush and using more of a dense brush. So if you use a sponge, you're going to shear out your foundation. But if you go in with a brush first, then that will give you the most coverage. So this is just a little bit light for my skin, but I will make it work. And as I've mentioned before, I'm gonna start in the center and then work my way out because that's where I have most of my redness and where I need most of the coverage. So I just I don't necessarily go like this because I feel like that's gonna be streaky. I just kind of pat it in. That'll also help give me that fuller coverage that I so desire. Now, I do also have a foundation series going on my Instagram, and I've done it through IGTV. So I have demoed and reviewed 2 foundations so far. So on Mondays, on Mondays this month, I will be demoing and reviewing foundations, both drugstore and non-drugstore. God dang, that looks like a mask. I do need some recommendations for drugstore foundation reviews. So if you have any that you'd like for me to review, please let me know in the comments for the IGTV series. I'm gonna go in my sponge now. And I just used the Anastasia Dewy set to wet it. I didn't run it under water. I'm gonna take whatever is left on my brush and just put that down here just to kind of even it out. Okay, that's it. Now I'm going to go in with the corrector. So correctors brighten or they can color correct. That's a whole other conversation. But I am going to color correct and kind of cancel out whatever darkness I have under my eye. This is not meant to be worn heavy, so don't go crazy with this. I always just dip my ring finger and use your ring finger because that will give you the least pressure under your eye. But I just use my goodness gracious, I just dip my finger in there and then I start with the inner corner, apply it here, and then I just take it to the end. I don't apply any extra product. I don't go in and apply any more. I just apply it on the inner corner, blend it out, and then I take it right here so it brightens that up. And there you go. Okay. All right, next up, we are applying concealer, and I'm using the CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer. This is in the shade M150 Buff Beige. This is one of the concealers that I've already demoed and reviewed on IGTV. So if you're interested in my thoughts, check it out. I am going to apply 3 dots. And sometimes I use a brush, sometimes I use my fingers, sometimes I use a sponge. It honestly just depends on my mood. So again, if you're using a sponge, it's really great for blending out, but that's not going to give you as full coverage as going in with a brush. So just keep that in mind. And for everyday wear, I don't need to do the V. If I'm doing more of a glam look, I will, but for just everyday wear, I will just do this. And I do bring it down just a little bit, but I don't go too crazy with it. And I also don't put it here, again, not for every day, but you certainly can if you wanted to. There's nothing wrong with that. There's really no rules to makeup. I mean, do whatever makes you feel good. I'm just doing like, you know, basic makeup. As I've mentioned 500 million times, I do not always set my under eye. So for everyday wear, I don't need to. If you work outside of the home or you have a special event, you may want to go ahead and set your under eye concealer. The best way to do that is to pat it out so that you don't have any crease lines. So I'll demo it just to show you. And then take a fluffy brush. I'm going to use the Cosette brush, but you could take any fluffy brush. And then you're gonna go in with your powder. This is not as light as I would like it, but go in with your powder, either loose, pressed, whatever you're gonna use. And I would recommend after you press that, then you just do like a rolling motion and set the under eye area. So again, just you can pat it in or you can press it or both, but don't go too crazy with it. Otherwise you're gonna move what is there. Any questions? Good. I have a little bit of a crazy little method that I do. After I do my liquids, then I let it just sit and settle into my skin, and then I go in with my brows. So while I'm working on the brows, everything else is kind of settling in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to curl my lashes and apply my brows. To use a brow pencil, and I am going to use the Benefit Goof Proof Brow Pencil in 3.5. This, by the way, is not Drugstore, but I like it because it has a spoolie on one end and then it has the pencil on the other end. I'll do that and I'll come back with some brows. Next. So now my foundation, my concealer, all of that has had some time to set. I'm gonna go in with my powder. This is the Charlotte Tilbury No. 2 powder. It is clearly not Drugstore. It is on the pricier side, but I promise you it is so worth it. It is a beautiful, beautiful powder. So I'm gonna use this, and I usually have to set my face because, as I've mentioned before, my glasses hit right up against this area. I just press and push that into the foundation without like going like this because I don't want to move it. Next up, we are going in with bronzer. but I'm gonna go in with the Morphe Glamour Bronze bronzer in the shade Icon. I only have 2 drugstore bronzers. I only have this one, which was limited edition, and the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. So if you know of a really fantastic drugstore bronzer, please let me know. I would love to try it. I'm gonna go in, and I apply this basically from the top of the ear to like the center of the eye. That's the goal, although sometimes I go a little crazy and it gets everywhere. And push this into the hairline as well, right at the jawline. Okay, I love bronzer and I love blush. I love a lot of makeup. So that's probably a lot for some people, but I personally love it. Obviously, you are going to apply the amount that you are comfortable with. So if you are not that extreme like I am, then go in with a light hand. And we're going to go back with the powder brush and blend everything. So we're gonna do a little bit more blending later on, but first I'm trying to get the product on there. So next we're gonna go in with blush. Okay, the lighting may have changed. That's because I turned my little light on because it was getting a little dark. For blush, I am going to go in, what do I want to use? I want to go in with this one. This is a Wet n Wild Hello Halo in After Sex Glow. I've already talked about this one. I love it. You get a blush and a highlighter. So I try to start from the back, kind of like I do with the bronzer, and then work my way in, because I used to start on the cheeks and work my way back. That just always felt very natural to me, but it doesn't always look good. So I try to have most of the color in the back, and then I smile and I put it right on the apple of my cheek and then blend it out. Now, lately, I have been loving bringing this up right to the temple. I don't know why, but I love the way that looks. So there's that. You don't want to bring it too high either. I have a little bit of control issues, so sometimes it's hard for me to keep it in the place that it's supposed to be. But I try. I like that this blush is blendable. So blendable. It is blendable, but it's also buildable. That's really the word that I was trying to say. Okay, so we're gonna call this done. If you go a little bit crazy and it ends up too close to your nose, you can always take whatever's left of your foundation on the brush and just clean it up. So sometimes I go a little crazy, especially like if I'm in a big rush, and I just clean it up, no big deal. All right, let's go in with the highlighter then. I love this highlighter. This is the next shade up. And again, this is by Wet n Wild. If you're in Texas, you can find these at H-E-B, you can find it at Ulta. But if you're a little bit darker than me, like medium to darker skin, you can pull this one off. So this one's a little bit much for me, but I'll make it work. We're going in with highlight, and I'm just looking for my favorite highlight brush. Okay, I can't find it. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna take the blush brush. I'm gonna go in with the highlight and put it just right at the top of my cheekbones, like right where that bone is. I'm gonna blend that out. Woo, look at that highlight. If you feel like you wanna blend, go back in with your powder brush. You can apply a little bit of powder if you want to. Otherwise, use whatever's left and just blend this baby out. I like a lot on my cheeks, so I'm not blending that out too much. I'm gonna keep it as is. And we're going to move on to, actually, I'm gonna pop my little birthmark. You see that? That gets covered up by foundation, but it's my little signature mark. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop that back on. Here's the thing. A lot of my friends don't wear makeup like I do. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I made this video. For today, it's for those women who are like, I don't wear a lot of makeup. I know I want to play with eyeshadow, but I don't know where to start, okay? This is for you. But also, if you are you know, very familiar with makeup and very experienced, this is really good for those just quick makeup looks where you just want to put eyeshadow on and get out the door. The best thing to do is to use a cream shadow. And you want to pick a color that you can use all over the lid and into the crease. So usually more of a neutral color. Use something that's cream because it's going to be easier. So this one is from NYX. This is the Lid Lingerie Matte in So Not Sorry. You can find other cream shadows at the drugstore. You can, sorry, that came out weird. You can check Ulta, you can check Sephora. There are options. You can also use a stick shadow. So stick shadows are really good options as well. Here's what you need. You need one of those, cream or stick shadow, and just a fluffy brush, okay? So any brand. You have a couple of options for applying this. You can dot this on your eye and then go in with your brush and blend it out. I like to go in with the brush to the wand, put a little bit on, you put a little bit more. Put a little bit on and layer it. So you don't want to go too crazy. I start at the bottom of the lid near the lashes and then I spread that out and build it into the crease. I have a lot of lid space, so I like to take my shadow up a little bit. You can create your little shape here if you want it more like V-like, V-esque, I don't know. But yeah, I have a lot of lid space, so I am allowed, if you will, to take it way the heck up high. Then I'm gonna take this onto my lower lash line. You don't have to do that. I like the way that it looks, so if you're feeling a little adventurous, go ahead and apply it here under your lash line. I connect it to that outer part that the outer little V there. All right. And I'm just gonna make this even. So now what you could do is you can take a fluffy brush, a clean, fluffy blending brush. So something like this, and just take that right along the edges to blend that out and make it look a little bit more smooth. You don't want any harsh lines. And watch your brows, girls, because sometimes I end up taking off some brow product. All right, so there we go. I'm pretty happy with that. There's not like a super harsh line and we're good, we're good, we're good. I could stay there and blend like another 5 minutes, but I'm not gonna do that. So there's one eye. I'm gonna go ahead and speed through this eye and come right back. I interrupt this video to tell you that for some reason, I have a harder time with eyeshadow on my left eye than my other eye. I don't know why. It's so hard for me to make this eye even. Does anybody else have that issue or is it just me? Okay, that's crazy high. That's a little too close to the freaking arch. But here's the great thing is that you can always clean it up. One is I'm going to take that concealer brush that I used and I'm gonna go in with a little bit of concealer just from the actual applicator. So just that. Oh man, these little fuzzies. And you can always clean up and clean up the shape if you need to. So if you feel like you got a little bit too far, you can do that. And then you can also clean up under the brows. So for me, I have a little bit, whoops, I have a little bit too much underneath the brows. So I'm gonna clean that up really quick. If I can find my freaking brush, here it is. And I'm gonna take a flat concealer brush. So that's what I'm using. Again, I'm just gonna go into the applicator just so that I don't grab a ton of product. And I'm gonna just put it on the back, wipe the excess off on the back of my hand. And I'm just gonna start to clean that up. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with a highlight shade. So I'm gonna highlight underneath the brow bone And for an everyday look, sorry you guys are hearing all my brushes, I'm going to use a matte bone type color. So you want to use something close to your skin tone, whatever color that is. And this is just a old, but one of my favorite e.l.f. brushes. It's just a flat brush. So I'm going to go in with this. This is the Wet n Wild Brulee. And I'm going to hit right underneath that brow bone and right here. Not a glam look, so I'm not using any shimmer, although you certainly can. You guys, this is really hard for me to tell if it's even because there is darkness here and light here, which means I need to set up my other light over here because it's really, really hard to tell. Okay, we're back with mascara. I did not apply eyeliner today. You guys, I feel like I need a little bit more blush. I really do. So I'm gonna go in with the darker shade and I'm gonna put just a little bit more blush on top because I like a lot of blush. Okay, I feel better. I can see more blush. Last are lips. So I am going to take a makeup towel. I always keep a makeup towel. It is dirty. I use it to clean off excess foundation, to wipe my fingers, to clean my brushes. I do all of that and then I wash this whenever I wash my towels. I'm going to use a towel to remove the lip balm and also scrub my lips to remove any dead skin, as well as to bring out the full color of my lips. I'm going to mix a couple of things today because of the color combination. So I'm mixing Morphe Boho lip gloss. It's one of my favorite nude lip glosses, and the Maybelline Vivid Hot Lacquer in Charmer. So this has more of a color payoff than this. Now I am just going to take a little bit on my hand and just mix the two together. That's even a little bit much. I love this one. Look at that. Oh, so pretty. All right, I'm going to mix those together and I'm going to apply those on my lips. There we go. Love the combination. So see, I'm going to take my makeup towel and clean off the excess there. If you want to set your foundation, then find you a setting spray. I hear that Milani makes a good one. I have not tested them out, but Milani has one. NYX has some from the drugstore. There's plenty at Ulta, plenty at Sephora. I am using the Anastasia. This is the Dewy set. I also like the Morphe, by the way, the black bottle, and it's the Morphe setting spray that you can get from Morphe.com or you can find at Ulta. Love that setting spray, but I'm out. I have this one and I really, really like this one. It gives a little bit of a dewy look, but it sets well and it has a coconut vanilla scent. So I'm going to use that, and the packaging is really cute. And I'm just going to spray, and then I have a little portable fan, but it's over there. So I'm just going to use my hands and fan it and let it dry. I hope that you found this helpful. If you have any questions, let me know. And if you have any requests, keep them coming. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys are having a good day or night wherever you are, and I will see you in the next video.